All right, guys, we are in the last section of how to start playing electric guitar as an acoustic guitar player. We talked about, first of all, just bar chords, the E and E minor shape, the A and A minor shape, arpeggiating, strumming, single notes. I mentioned even without the bar chords, you could do that and get by and actually sound really good. I mentioned the minor pentatonic scale, how to solo and use mood notes, how to add bands, and then the 2 extra notes that I mentioned to add to that. So last section is mood swells and learning the melody/lead lines. So once you've had all those things, or maybe you can skip around and do different things, but mood swells I think sound really cool on electric and super easy to do. All you do is you play a chord or sometimes an individual note, and then you just play it with the volume off, and you use your pedal to, after you play the note, just ease in the volume for that. So what I typically like to do is play the note before it's supposed to hit, and then just push the pedal forward to start easing the note in as it's supposed to come in on the 1. Or sometimes you can come in late as well and just kind of, like ease that note in. So you play it first with the volume off, and then just ease the volume on with your foot pedal. You can also do the same thing with your volume knob on the guitar itself, and it sounds pretty cool. You can do that with individual notes or with chords. And which chords do you pick? Well, just play the chord that you're on. You can use the bar chords we talked about, or even just the regular chords you're used to. And you also have the option of just using those individual notes from the pentatonic scale we talked about last time. So let's say I'm in the key of, let's pick a new key. Let's say I'm in the key of D. D is another common key we see. Well, where is D, by the way? Okay, D is here on the bottom string. So if I want to think of pentatonic scale, I'm going to think about it like this. Right? Here's the D. Or another option is, okay, here's the, where is it? This is A, B, C. D is actually over here, off my board. But I do have, yeah, D is, wait, let me just double check. This is G, A, B, C, D. Yeah. So D is over here. That means my scale would start here. This would be pretty high up on your guitar, depending if you're, oops, placed this guy in the wrong spot. But yeah, you could play it down here too, I guess. Okay, so what was I trying to say though? What was I trying to get at? You can just pick these individual notes, maybe here, maybe some of these, and then you can just swell on individual notes. And that sounds good too, especially if you have distortion and some delay or reverb. And then the last thing is to learn the lead melody or the lead line. So a lot of times if you have, especially like in fast songs, they'll have like a very particular line for the song. So I would highly recommend learning that particular line, because that's what's gonna let the audience know, oh, that's the characteristic line for that song. Now, even if you don't know it, you can still get by with all the things we talked about earlier without knowing the line. But if you do know the line, then that's even better. For that, I recommend using your ears or look up tutorials and for the individual song. The other thing is, if the song doesn't have a particular line, you can still learn the melody. So what I mean by melody, learn what the singers are singing, and then kind of emulate that on the guitar. How do you find the melody? Well, a lot of times you can actually just find it within that pentatonic scale, and the notes are mostly they're going to be there. Plus, if you add in those 2 extra notes I mentioned here, that one and that one, then you'll typically be able to find the melody somewhere within those notes. And then that'll help you to, help you find it. And once you find it, then you just play it with some, some of your your own characteristics. You can add bends or fills. You can add you don't have to play it exactly as you hear. You can play it slightly differently. You can even play it starting from a different position, but then just sort of play the same kind of relative spacing, and then you'll still get something that sounds cool. I'll demonstrate all this in practice when we get to the demonstration section. And that's basically it, guys. So that's all the information that I have for how do you jump in from being an acoustic guitar player / bass player and just start playing electric immediately. All right, guys. Hope this was helpful. If it was, please give me some feedback, or if you have any questions or anything that I can clarify, I'm happy to make additional follow-up videos or clarification videos. Okay, guys. Have a great one. See ya.